Now, continuing on from part 1, I was talking about the Hadzabe identity and the Bantu group of languages. Now, the Hadzabe are not Bantu, so let me be clear. I wasn't clear about that. The Hadzabe are not Bantus. They're actually an isolative language. And what does that mean? The Hadzabe do not fit in any language category, okay? Not Bantu, not Nilote, not Kushite, not Afro-Asiatic, and not the Khoisan as well, okay? So just they're an isolative language, and their root vocabulary does not match any of the surrounding tribes that, you know, live around them, all right? So that's very interesting. Then you have the Abantu, who are at least, I want to say there are at least over 480 Bantu tribes. Now you have over 480 Bantu tribes together with the Hadzabe asserting themselves as being the humans or the sentient beings. So to me, I prefer to use sentient being as more appropriate, okay? Because the human, again, seems to bring out a different meaning, and I'll show you just now in a few minutes, all right? Now, these so-called intelligent Europeans never thought to sit and ask, why would a people assert themselves as this unless they were facing a threat by people who were not sentient beings, all right? And the world over, you will hear stories about the great flood of Noah. So, and together even with oral literature, you hear about human hybrids and demigods and giants and ogres in African languages, all right? So much of the African stories do match up to the Bible language in that sense, the Bible stories in that sense, all right? Now, let's look at the English language, and let's examine the Bantu language. The reason why I say it's the mystery of the Bantu code, because Bantu is really the only group of languages I speak, all right? So I'm going to primarily break this down with Kibantu. Now, when you look at the Bantu language, the word Bantu has several roots that are attached to it. So the word tu, okay, which in this sense, when it comes to the name Bantu, the word tu is usually a suffix that's associated with the concept of leadership, with the concept of kingship, all right, with the idea of being the head, the first, the beginning. Tu or utu means conscientious, okay? Conscientious, compassionate, okay? And it's from this philosophy that we get our collectivist values. Always being compassionate, helping your neighbor. Utu, Ubuntu, you see? And that's, so the name Bantu, just use it. There's so many, but I'm just, because I'm running short on time, I'll just use the two. So with just those two breakdowns, you see, it means the first people. It also means the original people. It means the head people, all right? Now, the second part also means the compassionate people. You see what I'm saying? Those who are emotionally and awake or compassionate in that sense, all right? Now, you have also, when you come to the English language, you have a diametrical opposite of what, say, the Bantus or the Hadzas call themselves. You will see that in English, the word for human is completely the exact opposite of what the Bantu and the Hadza say, all right? So the word human comes from the Latin word humando. Humando means dead. Okay, even humus is soil that's, that's a mixture of plant material and it's dead. All right, so the idea of calling yourself a human being means that you're not a sentient being. Do you see that? Now, how is it that the Bantus assert themselves to be sentient beings? Well, the Europeans say we're not sentient, we're dead beings. Humando, we're humans. You see what I'm saying? These two languages are like the yin and the yang, diametrical opposites of the other. Now, this just leaves a question. There's so many questions to answer here, all right? Why would a people call themselves non-sentient? Right? Why would these people who call themselves humans or the dead ones, why do they have the best killing weapons? Why have they killed the most people on earth? Is it because there's a power in the name? Or does that name even have a deeper root that we don't know about? So if you look at Kibantu and Hadzabe compared to what the English language, when they say I'm a human, I'm a dead being, the Hadzabe and the Bantu say I'm a sentient being. In fact, I'm compassionate. In fact, I help my brother. That is the difference between a Bantu group of languages and the English language. Funny, isn't it? Now, I'll show you another example of how European language or Indo-European language, which is English in this sense, there's so many others, but we'll just use the English Indo-European language. And we'll use Kibantu to show you just another opposite. For example, in the English language, the word mano, M-O-N-O, mano, some may say mono, all right, means one, single, okay? From where you get, like the word for a monocotyledonous plant, okay? For those of you who may have done some biology or agriculture. Now, the word mono, in my language, mono means much, many, the exact opposite of the English language mono, one. In Swahili, the word becomes mno. In Kikuyu, it's mono. Do you see what I'm saying? It's two diametrical opposites in terms of the worldview and how we view and see things. It's pretty interesting. Now, this begs the question, then, who coded language? Was it humans? Or was it spirit beings? Or was it the Most High? I wonder. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And then we'll just move over to part 3. Coming up next. Hope to see you there. Bye. Salama. Shalom.